I found her hidden iCloud album. A live photo gave him away. I wasn't snooping, I was fixing the storage problem that had been nagging us for months, the one where our phones threatened to unionize. Unless we deleted 40 pictures of our dog yawning. We share an iCloud family plan because love is also logistics. I was on the couch with a new iPad migrating photos. When a small switch in settings changed my night show hidden album, I toggled it. Without a second thought, an album I'd never seen appeared between portraits and panoramas. 37 items, the number. Looked like an inside joke. I hadn't been invited to. My thumb hesitated over the first thumbnail. A hotel mirror, gold framed, the soft beige. Every designer thinks is neutral. The picture was tagged as a live photo, the kind that holds a breath of video. If you press too long, I pressed too long. It wasn't the image that betrayed anything, it was the sound, a quick intake of air, my wife's voice low saying stay. Then a man's voice answered, I will, barely a whisper, like a promise afraid of making noise. The second before the shutter, my wife Rhea shifted, and there in the left edge of the mirror, not her hand, a wrist with a band of ink, a thin black line circling bone. I closed the album, my heart did not race, it steadied like someone had tightened a bolt. I set the iPad down and stared at the ceiling until the cracks made a map that led nowhere. Somewhere in the hallway, our neighbor's kid practiced the same piano chord he had been practicing since March. Everything in the building was trying to be better at itself. Rhea was at a late client consult, which is what you call it when you're a brand strategist and restaurants want to be prettier at dinner. When she came home, she kicked off her shoes in the way I love, one foot behind the other, like the shoes were a story she'd been holding all day. She kissed me, a kiss that didn't apologize for itself. How's the storage war, she asked, grabbing a handful of grapes and missing the bowl on purpose. I found a button that hides an album, I said, hearing how far from casual my voice had wandered. I didn't know that was a thing. She shrugged. I hide unflattering selfies from myself, she said, smiling, otherwise they multiply. She tossed a grape in the air and caught it with a triumph more convincing than it needed to be. Want to watch something? We watched something. I don't remember what. The iPad glowed in the corner like an object waiting to be a witness. In bed, Rhea fell asleep first. She always does. I lay there and counted 100 backwards, a trick my therapist taught me when my brain wants to blame me for being a person. Morning made me better than I had any right to be. I made coffee, I answered emails, I wrote copy for winter coats that believed in January, even when I did at lunch. I opened the hidden album again. Because curiosity has excellent stamina, a beach towel on a hotel balcony, a glass with a lime and a lipstick that wasn't the shade Rhea wears when she wants to be taken seriously, another live photo, urban hotel carpet, Rhea's laugh folding into itself. Then a man's voice amused, the wrist again. The ink line band, the kind of minimalism people get when they intend to keep it. I'm not a detective, I'm a man who believes in sentences and the ways people say them. I started listening for the we in Rhea's schedule. It showed up at odd angles. We're testing a new tasting menu. We might grab a drink. After, she has a lot of we's, that's her job, building teams out of noise. But desire has a way of carving a more specific pronoun. That night, I suggested we clean out our camera rolls together, a domestic version of a trust fall. Rhea said yes, which surprised me. We sat side by side, phones mirrored onto the TV, deleting versions of ourselves. The hidden album stayed hidden, because that's the trick of titled things, they obey their names. Until someone refuses to. After an hour, she put her head on my shoulder. Do we have to keep every sunrise we almost enjoyed? She asked. No. I said, we just have to keep liking the idea that we could. She fell asleep like that, forehead at my neck. I watched the screensaver fill with photos we hadn't curated away, yet us in a boat wearing hats that didn't suit us, our old apartment with the plant that fought us, and eventually won. My mother's hand on Rhea's shoulder that first Thanksgiving, when everyone pretended to like the same pie the next day. I did something petty and useful. I bought new dish towels and mended the loose button on Rhea's favorite coat. Then I walk to the bookstore that smells like paper having an argument with dust. The clerk is a man with calm hair named Miles. He knows I like novels where nothing explodes and everything matters. He handed me a book about honesty and small boats. You look like you need uninterrupted sentences, he said. On the way home, I saw Ria on the other side of the street, getting into a rideshare. She didn't see me. The driver was the kind who treats the road like a suggestion. As the car pulled away, I glimpsed the inside of Ria's wrist, a faint smudge of ink, a line drawn in a moment of confidence. When did she get that, I wondered. We don't keep secrets about our bodies. We are both covered in the history of small injuries and a handful of decisions you can see from across a room. I hadn't seen this one. I did not follow the car. I did not call. Instead, I opened our calendar and added a dinner Friday 7:30. The bistro with the bad chairs and the excellent bread. I added a note: wear the blue dress if you feel like it. She RSVP'd yes, with a sprinkle of confetti. Confetti is not a language you fake easily at the bistro. Ria was incandescent in a way that made me briefly forget all the new words I was learning. We ate, we drank too much, we held hands on the table like people who have been forgiven for how they met. After dessert, I said, I think I found your hidden album. My voice didn't shake. The wine helped for a second. Ria's face did nothing. Then it tried on several expressions and rejected them one by one. Okay, she said, and nodded as if to an instructor who had asked the right question. I should have told you. I didn't want to try out the truth and have it sound like a bad monologue. Who is he? I asked. I had taken the scenic route to that sentence. No point in arriving late, Kai. She said, from the hotel project last spring. It was. I didn't plan it. She exhaled. It wasn't an accident either. He makes me feel like a room with windows on two sides. She winced. That sounds both real and cruel. It sounds like a metaphor, I said, because it did. How many times? Twice, she said. And then we stopped because I didn't want to become the person who organizes her life around lying. She looked at me. I love you. That sentence is not a bandage. It's a fact. I believed her. Maybe that makes me unambitious. Maybe it makes me brave. I don't know. What do we want it to be? I asked. A mistake we learn from, or a door we decide to open with rules. Ria drank water like it was medicine. I don't want to lose you, she said. I also don't want to mythologize myself into somebody who never wants anyone else. She tilted her head. You're allowed to want too. I thought about Miles in the bookstore, and the woman I sometimes see on my commute who reads standing up as if the train owes her respect. I thought about honesty and about boats. Then rules, I said, surprising us both. We write them down and mean them. No hotels that we've already named in an album. No introducing new people into old rituals. Names said out loud. No hiding albums. I smiled. We'll move the button to the home screen. Therapy, she asked like she already knew my answer. Therapy, I said. We sat on a couch designed to make you think brilliant thoughts and told a stranger with patient eyes what we were trying to do. The therapist asked us what marriage was for. Witness, I said. Home, Ria said. And then we laughed because those aren't opposites, but they do argue sometimes. Ria texted Kai. I saw the message. I'm choosing my marriage no more after midnight. Bravery. Be well. He read it. He didn't reply. Some stories don't gift you a second act. I didn't go looking for a Kai of my own, but life is very committed to coincidence. At the bookstore, Miles introduced me to his sister June, who runs a small letterpress studio where wedding invitations try to be poetry. June talks with her hands in